We're at 25802 Royal Oaks Road in Stevenson's Ranch, California, performing an area drain inspection, video inspection. We are running up from the curb area right now, and we are at 51 foot 3 inches. And this is our first root intruded joint that we can see, and this is just to the right of the 2 palm trees, which are facing the house. It's on the left hand side of the house, the left corner. So this is just to the right of those 2 palm trees. And we've marked this area out now at 1 foot 7 inches deep. And you've got some pretty substantial sized roots right here. So we're going to pull back a little bit. You can see it's a pretty good cluster of roots. So there's a joint there that's compromised. And we're going to get past here. We're still running toward the back. The rest of the line from the curb to that point had a couple bellies in it, but didn't look too bad. And now you got some other root intrusions. You got some small root intrusions. These could be growing all the way down the line, it looks like. We're going to go up, and we got another massive cluster of roots right here. And we were able to get past that point, and looks like we've got another massive cluster of roots past there as well. This is very thin piping. This is very, very thin piping, and don't believe that this piping is glued in. I believe it's just pushed together, and it seeps water, and roots do tend to grow into the joints very easily. We're going to pull back a little bit, see where it first starts. So we're starting way back here at 62 feet. So we're going to mark this area at 62 feet, and then we'll run it back to a point where we get a clear spot of pipe again. We're going to put the locator on, so it's going to get kind of fuzzy for a moment. Okay, we've marked this area out. There's a plant that is right in front of the retaining wall, just to the left of the house as you're facing the house. And that's where we're at right now. We are going to be running through and into the backyard now. And then we'll try and find out where these other roots stop, because again, we had those roots that we saw, and then we've got more roots as well. And we're able to get through those other roots. I don't know that we'll be able to get through this cluster of roots. This seems pretty bad right here. See if I can clean off my camera and run back in. Running slowly, we might be able to see this a little bit. Yeah, it's just packed. It's packed solid right here. And we can't push past this area. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to mark this out, locate it and mark it out in the backyard. We're going to turn on our locator again to mark this area out. Okay, we've marked this area out in the backyard. It is about 6 to 7 feet inside the block wall. As you're facing the house from the front, it is on the left-hand side of the house, just behind the wall, between the wall and the outdoor fireplace. So now we're going to try and push through again. I don't believe we're going to be able to get through here, but we're going to try anyway. The roots look pretty heavy. Those are very, very thick. No, we're not going to be able to get through with the camera. So we're going to pull back, try and rinse off our camera lens again. And we're going to pull back, and then we're going to go, and there's heavy roots again at 66 feet. Then we have roots again. This joint 64 feet, 62 feet. We're pulling back out toward the curb. We're going to go in the backyard, and we're going to try and run through the drains there and see how far out toward that spot that we got, the last spot that we marked. And again, we're at 50 feet, 51 feet in this area where we have thick roots. Now we're pulling back toward the curb again. We didn't see anything coming in as far as root intrusions. We do have an inlet right here that is at 41 feet that, more than likely from what we can see, that's the downspout that is on the left-hand side of the garage. We do have a little belly in the pipe here and there where we're holding a little tiny bit of water, but not terrible. That should be okay if we get the root intruded pipe taken care of, at least for this point in time. Now we have a transition couplings from what we can see right here. We don't have any issues right there, but we do have a little bit of a belly, as I said, holding water right here. It takes a dip. We don't have quite enough fall coming toward the curb, but it will drain out eventually. It'll push through as long as we don't have heavy root intrusion there. So we're going to go in the backyard now, and we're going to pull the drain covers and see if we can get through those drains coming back out toward that one spot that we found where we could not get through, just inside the back wall. So we're going to pause for a moment. And Okay, we're set up in the backyard now. We've pulled the drain cover. It is by the barbecue, and we're going to attempt to run both ways. Run toward the other drain that's stopping up, which I'm sure it's because it stopped up past this point. I'm going to run toward that drain. Here's our fireplace, outdoor fireplace, and our drain in the ground. And then we have another drain in the ground by the table, which we're going to try and run toward. Okay, got the camera in. Hopefully we get the lens clear. There's a lot of debris in there. Has a lot of mud. A whole lot of mud and debris here because it's been backing up. We're going to push through here, see if we have any root intrusion or anything that we can see going back toward the house. Well, we can see we just have mud. We have debris that's been backing up. We have debris that's been backing up toward the house because of the roots that we found out by the retaining wall. Now we're already out almost 40 feet. So we've made our turn and we're going toward the pool. So we're going to pull out now. We're going to pull this out now, and we're going to run down the hill. We're going to run out toward the front of the house. Just have a lot of mud. A lot of mud and debris. As I said, no root intrusions that we can see. Mud backing up. Pulling out of the drain. We're going to wipe the lens off. A lot of sand, a lot of mud, debris. We wipe the lens off, and now we're going to attempt to go down the line toward the front of the house. Very difficult time trying to get the camera to go down the line. Okay, got our camera in. Just really tight turn right here. A lot of debris. Again, making a little bit of a turn over by the outdoor fireplace. Very difficult time. Some of these turns are very, very tight. As you can see, we're making almost a little more than 45-degree turns, right? 2 45-degree turns. We're going to pause for a moment. We're going to stop and locate this turn. I believe that from what I can see, we're probably only about 4 or 5 feet from the heaviest root intruded area. So we're going to see where we're at. Worst case scenario, might have to be dug up back in this turn. Okay, this turn, the line goes pretty much perfectly straight toward the outdoor fireplace and makes a hard 90-degree turn goes straight toward the fireplace, makes a hard 90-degree turn, and heads out toward the front block wall. We're going to try and see if we get lucky enough to get around it. I doubt it. Can't make this 90-degree turn. These turns are just too tight with this type of fitting. These fittings have no sweep whatsoever. Cannot get around it. And I cannot get past the other root intruded joint that is right by a plant, almost in between the block wall and the fireplace, the outdoor fireplace. So that section of pipe is going to have to be replaced and maybe replace another 5 or 8 feet coming toward the barbecue area. I don't know that we have any roots coming toward the barbecue area from the middle area between the block wall and the fireplace. But that we'd have to find out once we had it opened up. And we're going to pull the camera out now. As I said, I can only jam this camera in so hard with these fittings or I will end up breaking the camera. Just a lot of mud, a lot of debris, and I'm sure that that one heavily root intruded area definitely is a big issue, and that and the other root intruded areas toward the front of the house, you may not have any more issues back here. Once we have it open by this plant in the backyard, then we'd be able to run the camera up the line to see if there's any other issues. And that concludes our video sewer inspection.